The Munsters on Netflix from Rob Zombie. It's a prequel to the Munsters. If you're not aware, the Munsters, it's based on the 1960s sitcom, same name. I love the Munsters. I grew up with the Munsters.
You grew up in 1965?
I grew up with the reruns of the Munsters.
Yeah. I actually like the idea that Jeff is like ages like Kenneth from 30 Rock.
Yeah. This is a passion project from Rob Zombie. He's wanted to do this forever. Rob Zombie, known for disgusting, gross, intense movies, made this family comedy on Netflix. This is my suspected budget. I have analyzed this movie. I think the Munsters had a budget of $11. This movie,
you just went to Spirit Halloween.
I don't know what the fuck was this movie. Oh, the trailer is fascinating because it's something that I know Red Letter Media theorized that he cut it together, like he did the trailer.
Yeah, that he edited it. Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck this movie is. My dog is barking. We're talking about Munsters. This is so bad. But the best review on this you can go watch, by the way. Listen to us first. Double Toasted, some of the best people on YouTube when it comes to listening to reviews.
Love them.
Their review of this movie was so funny.
Yeah.
The quote Double Toasted review said, "Rob Zombie is a goddamn fool." Like, that is such a funny way to put this.
They were the best, yeah.
It's so bad. It's like shockingly bad. It's not intentionally bad either. Rob Zombie just doesn't know how to make a comedy. Like it's
or a movie. I would argue.
It is so bad.
He's like can't get a joke in the script, so he just has.
When I mentioned the anime thing, Double Toasted said this great. They mentioned there's just some parts of the movie that you were like, this is like a cartoon almost. But it's so live action and so like high school vanity project, like a high schooler made it. It's so bad. It's so fucking stupid. It sounds bad. It looks bad. The dialogue stinks. It's not funny. I don't know who it's for. The Munsters is such a specific time period. And the Munsters is definitely less known than the Addams Family. Like the Addams Family. It is like I would say present day.
Present day, yeah, sure, yeah.
The Munsters' relevance to present day is significantly less than the Addams Family. Like there's Addams Family values, like there's stuff that's kept the Addams Family going along. The song is so iconic. Not that the Munsters isn't. The Munsters is iconic, but in like kind of a different way. Because
Addams Family is way better in my opinion. It's way more catchy.
I like the Munsters, but the Addams Family, it's like the snaps. The Munsters, this movie is so bad. One of the worst of the year. However, I'm happy I watched it because it was an experience.
Yep.
Abysmal. 7 out of 100. Terrible movie. Just awful. Just an awful fucking movie. It is. I walked upstairs to talk to Gooch about other stuff, like dozen stuff, and he was watching it. And he was like, by the way, this thing. And I saw what he was watching. I'm like, I know. I don't even know what to say at this point.
Yeah.
Double Toasted. Rob Zombie's a goddamn fool.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Jeff, a quick sidebar. Do you remember Spill.com? Because they were the site that those guys ran before. That was my OG like movie review site. Love Corey Coleman. Shout out to him. Talked to him on the phone back in 2008.
So bad.
This movie is like a really bad one for me to watch because, man, you want to talk about shit that ain't people's bag. Munsters are not my bag at all, or Addams Family, or really any of those shows in that era. Just ain't my shit. And this one was so like you could feel Rob Zombie, like you could tell he really liked this show growing up or whatever, and like he's like, man, I could do that. I could make a homage to this show I like, and it just felt. So it felt like an imitation, like a really bad imitation, and it gets hurt really bad by the fact that it's not funny. that makes no fucking sense, and that it is like what 2.5 hours long.
It's an hour it's an hour 46
long.
minutes. It's not that long.
Dude, it felt so much longer. That felt so fucking long. Way too long for the Munsters. Are you
I like that you said it
me?
made no sense. It's like the mad ramblings of a Munsters fan for 110 minutes.
Yeah.
So like the only place I can give it any credit is that like you make fun of like the costume design. I kind of find it like the way that it was shot like endearing, and that it looked like it was shot in like a Spirit Halloween or whatever, like with the way they had the lighting and all that shit. Like I was like, that's fucking goofy, but like the movie didn't match that. You know what I mean? The actual everything else, nuts and bolts, did not match that look. And just, man, fucking torturous movie to sit through again as someone that's just not into this shit. Like, I'm not getting any of the references. I'm not understanding what the fuck is going on. And like, I'm just so fucking confused by the end of it that when like the guy, the Frankenstein, which by the way, and he was the star of another show or another thing I'm sure you love, Jeff. He was the caveman from Geico.
Yes.
He was the fucking caveman. When he gets, dead serious. And he, by the time he gets the job with like the fucking coffin company, I'm like, what the fuck happened in this goddamn movie? I went back and I looked at the Wikipedia. No Munsters movie deserves an 8-paragraph Wikipedia entry on their plot. Yeah. That is bananas to me. Like no movie, it should never ever be that long. It should be like the length of Werewolf by Night is exactly that's the cap for fucking Munsters.
This should have been a special.
Yeah, if it was a special, same length, you condense all this shit, you get rid of all this like superfluous shit, like it would be not that, like it could be okay, but man, it was just like the ramblings of a madman, I think is a good way to put it, because it just felt so fucking incoherent that like I can't imagine anyone sat through the editing of that movie and like, yeah, fucking, we got gold here, someone's gonna love this. Like some fun, some good jokes, whatever. There's not really great acting, some nepotism in the casting.
Oh boy,
big time.
Boy, oh boy.
That was Sherry Moon Zombie, which by the way, she was raised in the same town I was in Connecticut, Plainville, Connecticut. Shout out. Her acting in this movie was
stinks.
Yeah.
So bad. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of a line. Some of her deliveries where she's like really preaching and being like almost like Shakespearean. It reminded me of the line from Role Models. When he's like, doth the Xanthian weep like a maiden? Like that, that's how she delivered every line in this movie. Dude. And I couldn't believe it.
It was bad. And like and like the rest of the cast wasn't really that much better. They had the dude fucking Daniel Roebuck, the guy who was supposed to play Marv, I think. And then a couple other guys, and just I just detested this movie from start to finish.
You know what this movie felt like? It felt like a porn parody without any of the sex. No sex. It's just like watching one of those porn parodies, no sex. Like
this movie needed Elvira.
An hour, 45 minutes long. It was so long. Like I can actually respect the campiness if the movie was funny, but it just isn't. Like you said, Rob Zombie is hitting such a brick wall and writing jokes that he has Herman Munster doing stand-up. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? I can't hate it. I don't hate it because I actually think there is a demographic for this that'll eat it up and love it. That demographic are people who wear Nightmare Before Christmas t-shirts year round.
People with head.
But outside that,
somebody wearing one of those like the Beetlejuice pattern long sleeve shirts, but it's not a long sleeve shirt. It's just sewed to the short sleeve shirt.
It's so specific.
Yes. Somebody with an Invader Zim squishmallow.
This was made for Invader Zim adults.
Yes. Invader Zim for not just adults, like actual boomers, like people born baby boomers.
Dude, this movie, it's just like it's got to be some sort of money laundering scheme, right?
Yeah,
like
that's what it felt like.
Netflix gave him $5 million. He spent $5,000.
How much do you think fucking what's his name from Lost count? Huey or whatever from Lost. How much do you think he ran him? No way it cost them more than like 10 grand.
He's probably just buddies. He probably just threw his friends in there. They thought he was making a home video.
Yeah.
You could argue he did.
Yeah.
Chris.
All right. Clear out. Clear out.
He took a shot for the podcast listeners.
Yes. We all hated Blonde, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blonde, as much as I despise it, qualifies as a movie. It has a director and actors and characters. Those characters do have arcs. Now, we don't like them. And you know, Gooch, your quote, the catalog of trauma porn, perfect way to put it. While watching this film, it occurred to me, at what point does a film cease being a movie? Because I think we have that here. Because basic things that we take for granted, like I hated the bubble, right? But the bubble was in focus. It did have characters. The sound editing, you could hear what people were saying. It had basic Foley work. You know, when somebody got punched or fell down, you know, they had a sound effect. This does not qualify to me as a feature film, despite simply having a runtime. And it's just one of those things. Like, I don't know why this guy gets to me so much. I know he has a cultish army of neckbeards that think he's talented. Rob Zombie fucking stinks. Like, and it's that whole mentality that name. Rob Zombie. Ooh, he's fucking edgy. No, he's not. He's a guy who made a music video like 15 years ago that people liked. That's all he is. This guy
Chris,
has absolute. Go ahead.
Can I tell you something? Do you want to know what Rob Zombie's real name is?
I'm sure it's
Robert Bartlett Cummings.
Right. It's like it's just, I just hate that whole like when somebody makes loud music, therefore all of a sudden they're edgy. It's like those people say, "Oh, you know, Gigi Allen ate shit on stage." So what? Like a big deal. Yeah, like the only guy who actually matches that description is fucking Ozzy Osbourne, who ate a bat on stage. He's a badass. Besides that, whatever. But even beyond that, the guy can't direct a movie. And the big problem with this, you brought up the nepotism. He's casting all his friends. The Geico caveman doesn't even make an attempt to be like Fred Gwynn. Not to say I want him to do a shitty impression, but like it's so disingenuous. If you walked into one of the Barstool studios when Glennie Balls was directing or interviewing a porn star, they would be a better actor than Sherry Moon Zombie. She fucking stinks. She doesn't even attempt to act in this movie. Like her mannerisms, you just want to pull your hair out watching the entire thing. This is easily the worst movie of the year. Like this will, it's so bad that for a large majority of it was in that like room Plan 9 from Outer Space territory where it's like, do I almost recommend this to people? But the problem is it keeps going.
It's too long, man.
And the fact that the movie, you notice how the movie just stopped. The movie actually doesn't have any. I've never seen a movie in which the characters have negative arcs, in which the characters actually regress in terms of their knowledge of life, the world, whatever. It actually goes backwards as a film. And beyond that, look, I'm ripping it because I enjoy ripping shitty arcs. You know, I know I'm an asshole when it comes to that, but truly, of the little bit that I've seen of the Munsters, and I think Jeff, you'll agree with me on this. Well, I'm not going to claim to be an expert on that era of television, though I have seen every Twilight Zone episode. The Munsters did legitimately have actual heart and soul and tried to have a message. Yeah. It was a very genuine television show. There is not a single thing about this that feels genuine, honest, or real. And that's why I actually hate the whole, well, he's clearly a fan of the Munsters. Based on this movie, I don't get that impression. I don't watch anything from this and that makes me think, oh, this guy really loves and cares about this product. So, I mean, I think it is a soulless, empty film that I'm giving a 5 out of 100 to for 2 reasons. One, the guy who played Jonathan Munster, he's trying. Like, I think that he's doing what he can. Like, that's a character actor who I think was genuinely passionate, who was given worse source material than most people get in high school plays, but he's trying. But beyond that, the only other reason I'm giving it a 5 is because no matter what, it's like the Roger Ebert principle when it came to Freddy Got Fingered. As bad as it is, I will not forget this movie. like Blonde in a few years, I will probably forget it existed. The Bubble in a few years, while I'll hate it, I will probably forget it existed. It ranks up there among those movies that I will probably wake up at some point in the middle of the night in a few weeks and be like, was this a fever dream?
Sweating it out.
Yeah. This is this year's Venom 2 for me, but it's substantially worse. Because again, Venom 2 qualified as a movie. I don't know if you can say that here. And again, it's Red Letter Media when they did their Jack and Jill review talked about it, where like this does feel like a money laundering scheme. This movie cost $40 million.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he like dispute that? It's crazy. It's crazy.
There's no way in hell that
the Batman cost $100 million. Like, that means this is almost half the production budget, budget of one of the most beautiful looking movies I've seen in the last decade.
They shot this in the volume.
So yeah, I mean, I'm glad to get it off my chest, because really, if there's certain movies I see that are probably on this show, especially, probably have not been as deserving of the ripping I've given them. There's something like just icky about this, where you can claim to be a fan all you want, but at the same time, you have to come in with the best of intentions, and I just don't think he did. Don't make another movie. If you want to make more music, go ahead and do it. Take a step back, man.
All right. I do want to say, to Rob Zombie's credit, like House of a Thousand Corpses is not bad. Devil's Rejects, I genuinely do like. I think it's a good movie. But yeah, I think if I would be
my freshman year college roommate, by the way, he's just a regular Long Island guy, Mets fan, like nothing. But he would always watch Devil's Rejects and House, like always.
Yeah, Devil's Rejects, good ass movie. And like,
what year did Devil's Rejects come out?
It's got to be like turn of the 2000s, I think. No, maybe a little earlier.
Right.
I would forget exactly. But but like that's what I'm saying is like I would be more excited about him making a new horror movie versus him going into comedy. It just makes like, would you want to go see a comedy directed by Ari Aster or whatever? Like, and Ari Aster is a genuinely great filmmaker. Like, I wouldn't want to see someone from that sensibility. Like, can we talk about how some comedy guys go into the horror scene and all that? Rob Zombie's not a comedy guy.
That's a good way. Rob Zombie is the inverse Jordan Peele, where he went from horror and tried to make comedy. The difference is Jordan Peele is actually like a good storyteller and knows what he's doing and understands the genre. That is a good way to put it. Like, I think the difference is like everybody has an idea, like a sense of what is scary. Not everyone has an idea of what is funny. You know what I mean? Like it's harder to translate that way. Did he write this, Rob Zombie?
That's a good question.
If he did, it was, maybe in Fran.
Yes.
Yeah.
He did? Yeah. It was him. He wrote into. Damn, dude.
Director. Oh, so bad. So 5 from Chris, 7 from me. Ken Jack, what was your score again? 20.
I'd be at a 5 as well.
It's 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna dump back.
Do you? Final score? Yeah, good.
5 stars. Yeah.
so you
stinker.
It's you. I mean, to say you like it. You dislike it just a little bit less.
Oh, no. I hate this movie. This is 5.
No, I know, but you dislike it a little bit less than Blonde based on your rating.
Yeah, like Blonde was like actually like from Jeff earlier. Like that movie was offensive to me. Like
I totally get that. That does make sense, because that was probably a harder watch. This was just fascinating with how bad it was. Yeah.
Just a dog shit movie. Big times. It's the definition of a stinker.
Yeah.
If we were talking about it. Like, that's one, like, and it's, again, if it was just like maybe an hour long, I'd be more compelled to recommend it to someone to be like, watch it because it's so bad it's good or something, like, or watch it because it's a train wreck. This movie feels like it's 3 hours long. Like, I would never recommend that to anybody ever.
It's already been streamed for 300 million hours.
No, I'm sure Netflix PR has already put that to the most streamed horror movie in the last 100 years.
It's ironic because that's how long it felt when you're watching it too.
Them and The Rock, two of the biggest liars in media. The Netflix PR and The Rock, two of the biggest liars.
That's our review of the Munsters. Crazy movie. I would not suggest watching it, but if you do, you won't forget it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Very memorable in like a bad way. Next week, Halloween Ends.
Okay.
Halloween Ends next week.
Can't wait for that. It's definitely going to end, isn't it?
He's not gonna fucking die.
He's not dead, so Halloween won't be over.
He's not. That's it for Ken Jack and Chris and Gooch. I'm Jeff D. We'll talk to you next time.